Yes, people, how are we? Thought to bring a mate of mine who gets on the coaches on the aways with me. He knows the struggle of doing them big trips, lad, don't you? Greg, how are you?
I'm all right, you know. I mean, I've recovered a little bit from yesterday, like, so I'm doing sounds. You know, I've managed to get my thoughts together, and I think I finally come to a solid conclusion that yeah, we are crap. Yeah, and I've come to terms with it now, so I think that's the main thing about it.
It's a hard pill to taste, lad, isn't it? Hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Thinking of shit, lad. But look, mate, do you know what? I thought it'd be good to get you on. Obviously, one of the topics in particular, we're going to later about the tickets, and you know, we go to match. We know how hard it is anyway getting tickets. We've just been talking about an upcoming game. But you know what? Everyone joining in now, smash a like and subscribe. You'll already know Greg. He's active on Twitter like me. You probably look at my Twitter, and I'm always calling people CUN something else. Do you know what I mean? So, but Schlotzball the heads in the fucking
How are we, lad?
Here he is. Fucking Taz is in the house. Lads, you know what? I started off, you were at the match last night. Unfortunately, I weren't there. Tell everyone what you think.
Well, you're on your way to the ground. You see the lineup, and you already know that. Like, you already know we're going to lose. Do you know what I mean? Because you look at Palace's lineup, and you're like, lad, they've only really made like maybe 3 or 4 changes to their main squad.
Strong,
because their overall squad's still quite thin anyway. There's still players that probably make regular appearances regardless. And all it took for me was to see Sar's name on the sheet and know that we were going to lose, to be honest. But like, it weren't even the squad for me; it was the bench. And I just think to myself, you know what? The squad in itself is fine. The squad for a cup game, it's fine. The team actually got off to a decent start as well, but it was just like the negligence of it. And I done an interview on the Cop TV straight after the game, and this was obviously before all the Slot press conferences came out. And the first thing I said was, "Look, I don't know how to analyze or critique that game because I don't know if Slot genuinely thought that would work, or if he was trying to throw the game away." And obviously, it come out now. He was essentially trying to throw the game away. So we wouldn't have, made like what's it called, fixture congestion, whatever. He just didn't care. He knows what he's focusing on, which I get. Fair enough. If I want any positive light from it, is that he knows what he's focusing on, because I feel like that's one of the things where you kind of like, you know, you want the manager to be certain, and so if you can get any certainty out of it, that's definitely one of them. He knows what he's going for. He knows what he's looking for. Sounds. That was fine by me, but then it also just feels like a major kind of fuck up to not only the players who played, but also the fans, because you know all the fans are going to the grounds, even watching on the TV or whatever, and we're all expecting us. Look, it's a cup game. Think up in the league. The league's done. We can just get top 5. So let's go for the cups instead. And you know what, right? If you win this game, you're 3 games away from Wembley. You've got a quarter final and then a 2-legged semi. And over 2 legs, Liverpool don't lose semi-finals. Like, when was the last time Liverpool lost the semi-final?
Oh, mate, we are the most horriblest team over 2 legs, aren't we?
It must have been Southampton back in like 2015 or something. Yeah. But someone fact-checked that for me. If I'm not mistaken, the last time Liverpool lost the semi-final was against Southampton in 2015. So Liverpool don't lose semis. Granted, we would have played Arsenal away, right? But we beat them already. We could have easily beat them again, and you go into the semi-final, and then the final is in February, March. And you know what? By that time, get to the business end of the season. The league's already done as it is, but the FA Cup's just got started, and the Champions League is finally into it. So there's a chance there to win a trophy by February. The momentum starts kicking in. You've won the Carabao Cup, and then you gain that confidence. You use that boost to not only go and improve your position in the league, but also go for the FA Cup and go for the Champions League. And that's what every Liverpool fan was kind of looking for. But Slot decided he had other plans, and with this now comes extreme pressure. With this now comes,
he's amplified it, Greg. Now, and he's fucking put major pressure on the weekend.
I mean, if it weren't already a must-win, Aston Villa is now not even a must-win. It's a
has to win.
You have to win. Do you know what I mean? You have to win Aston Villa, and if you don't win on Saturday against Villa, you're not going to beat Madrid. You're not going to beat City.
No.
Where'd you go from there then?
Well,
it's a case of where'd you go from
the fans last night? Because people who've paid dough, lad. Look, we're going to come on to a talk about the ticket stuff in a bit, but you and I both know a lot of people will have come from outside of Liverpool last night. And you'll be, lad, if you drove 3 or 4 hours, one of our mates was on the show earlier, I'd done a little review. He drove 5 hours to go to the match last night. You'd be fucking livid if you seen that. Especially the bench, Greg. Look, we can deal. We understand the first 11, you'd have changes. But fuck me, like, give the players for Liverpool last night must have been like, we've got no chance here. Do you know what I mean? There's
exactly
off the fucking bench, lads. We talked off here then. Klopp would have always had 3 or 4 of them on the bench, wouldn't he?
Definitely, always, yeah. Always. unless it was like one of them protest games like Shrewsbury. I can remember back in 2020 where he was protesting it because I think the game went on TV or something, and he didn't like it, and he was like, you know, he just said, "Nah, fuck yous then," and he just played up, and we still won. Granted, like we still won, but very rarely did we have them moments on the clock. So I just think like when you're setting up for a game like that, and you know you've got a few senior players there, you've got McAllister, you've got Kerkers, and you've got Robbo. They're like the 3. They were and Chiesa, obviously. They're the 4.
You know, he hardly fucking plays.
They're the 4 senior players in the team. Everyone else, or Gomez as well. Sorry, Gomez doesn't play. Sorry, that's why I forgot him. But you've got them senior players surrounded by academy players or just like fringe squad players. And then you look at the bench. Let's just go. And you're in the head of McAllister. You're Alexis McAllister, right? You know you've not been playing well recently, and you know there's a reason why you've been coming off the bench every now and again. And you finally got your chance to start. You finally got a chance to get 90 minutes. And then you're looking at the bench and thinking to yourself, lads, like if I actually have a bad game here, we're not going to win. And then I already set you back, like mentally and
pressure automatically, isn't it, for the seniors to have to drag the kids through a madness of a game?
Yeah.
In the pissing down rain, lad. That's already hard enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what? I felt a bit sorry for Chiesa last night, Greg, because I thought
I did.
He had no help. Game. No help. And lad, he knew deep down Phil weren't winning that last night, and he's still running, still going mad. You've got to get, lad, do you know in them games, right? Do you know what? We've obviously got the Villa game on the weekend, right? Do you know Liverpool would have scored? And I thought they were shit, by the way, last night, Palace.
I think in the first 35 we could have had them there. We genuinely could have.
The lack of senior players probably didn't.
It's just a lack of experience, you know. Yeah. Sometimes because when they're playing in the academy and playing in the main squad is such a different dynamic. Because in the academy, everyone's around the same age, anyway. And you know, I feel like in the academy as well, players play a lot more for themselves because they want to get up to the big leagues. So still they play as a team, but deep down they all know and like they've all got to play for themselves. And you could tell with that Morrison, I think it was was it on our right?
Yeah, he was on the right wing.
Yeah. Again, he's only a kid. Right? He's younger than me. I'm 21, and all the academy players are younger than me. But you could tell he got given a chance, which he doesn't know if he's going to get again. And what he's tried to do is he's tried to replicate Lamine Yamal in that game instead of playing for the team. That's not his own fault. That's
the way they are, the kids, lads.
That's a coaching problem.
Yeah,
that's a coaching problem. So you've got to look at that and say, look, this is the level at which our academy players are, and that's how you develop them. But then again, that's also another reason into which why if you are McAllister, if you are Robertson, and you're seeing that you are lining up with these players. And fucking hell, I forgot about Endo as well. Endo played, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? You're seeing, you've got these players, and you look at it like, lad, like it's over before it started, and that's not even a defeatist mentality. That's just you being real with yourself. Because the worst thing you can do as a footballer, not as a football fan, but as a footballer, is be deluded to what the facts are around you. Because with delusion on the pitch comes complacency, and with complacency, that's how you get beat. When you're deluded on the pitch, like I'm not expecting Endo to think, we're gonna fucking batter these us. No, I'm not expecting McAllister to think that either. I'm not expecting Robbo to think that either. Yeah, I'm expecting them with the experience that they've got. I'm expecting them to be like, look, boys, I'll be so honest, we are going to get absolutely tonked, and we did.
You knew, lad. The thing is, we knew it straight away. As soon as I'd heard it throughout the day what the team was roughly going to be, you've probably seen it as well throughout your WhatsApp groups and fucking shit like that. but automatically it puts a bad spin on it. You know what, lads? Like, when you're going through a rough period, especially the culture of Liverpool Football Club, you're always in the spotlight anyway. You can't even fart in public without everyone knowing. Do you know what I mean? It's just the way it is. But you can make things a bit easy for yourself. You know, like, for instance, you know, like Gary watches our show. People are unhappy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to call it where it's going to go, to be honest, Greg. And I can understand people getting frustrated. I can't ever watch Liverpool throw a game. I felt like we threw the game. You know, we've just been speaking about it. But if you have a few, for instance, if we score in that second half because of a few extra players that we've got, the ground probably sucks another goal in. You could tell you could hear the crowd trying to get the fucking lads in the mood. And you know, if we get it back to 2-2, Liverpool win that game, lad, and they'll bounce into fucking Villa.
The fans done everything they could on there last night, in my opinion. I don't think, it's always a complicated one with the fans because, and we'll get into it more with the ticket stuff. But like, I feel like last season, after every single game we had, there was always a discourse on Twitter about how the atmosphere was crap and all that and whatever. And you're like, how are we going for the league and our atmosphere is this bad? And I just think like, and I feel like it was just because we were so used. We were so used to having like falling short of something in a season where we didn't fall short of anything. People had to find something because they were just so used to it. And that was always our fallback thing. But I just think, I genuinely think, like, the fans recently, I feel like at our games have done everything that they could. I feel like, you know, the atmospheres haven't been bad. I feel like the atmospheres have just mimicked the game, and I don't think that's the fans' fault. Obviously, you can always reference teams in Europe, especially Frankfurt. You know, you've got your Ajaxes, all these ultras groups or whatever in Europe who just sing for 90 minutes non-stop and
create mad noise. It's not like that in England, lads. You know what I mean?
It's not like that in the UK. It's not like that at all. The only fan bases really that I like that are Celtic and Rangers, and everyone knows here that they're full of bad tryhards.
And probably the nearest to it in the Premier League, you'd say the fucking Palace in behind the goal because they've got a few little.
Yeah, it is Palace and Sellers Park. Yeah, it is probably.
Yeah.
But then even then, it's just a drone of noise, and the beauty of Anfield atmosphere is that I feel like the Anfield atmosphere has the potential to make or break a game, unlike most stadiums in the UK. I don't feel like you get another atmosphere like that in the country. Maybe other than Everton. Do you know what I mean? Maybe other than Everton at Goodison Park, at least. You know what I mean?
That was a difficult gap to go when they got into the mood.
Yeah. And I feel like Anfield yesterday, as a fan base, as all the paying fans in the stadium, I feel like they did their job. From minute one, we were singing well. And then when the game started to turn and we were still singing, but nothing came from it, that's when it starts getting flat because there's no inspiration on the pitch to do it. And the fans can only do so much for so long in the ground before they start getting a bit agitated and a bit needy. And, you know, that's... it's one of them, but I think everyone in the grounds yesterday done what they had to do, and I don't blame anyone for getting off early, especially in the front rows. They were getting soaked.
Fucking hell, lad, they were fucking destroyed by the rain, weren't they? Fuck me, lad. But you know what, though, lad? It's not a good sight to see because you know what? You know, you've got the likes of San Marino taking the piss, you know, laughing stock material at the minute, lad, and we go the match, and you know how hard it can be going the match with the shit you're here. Do you know what I mean? You don't want every fucking prick taking the piss even more. And the fact is, lads, we're 6 and 7 now, 6 defeats in 7. That's not Liverpool, like, Greg. You know what I mean? And like, you know, if you throw a competition so early, Greg, you better be fucking winning every other game around it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's why people are fucking fuming, lads. I'm still fuming with them. Do you know what I mean?
We don't want to make a habit out of losing at Anfield. I mean, last season we lost at Anfield twice.
It does become a fucking habit, lad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because, I mean, last season we lost at Anfield twice. You know, it was Forest and PSG. Granted, PSG over the two legs was, you know, one of the greatest ties in European football history. If we're being honest with ourselves,
well,
definitely of that season.
It's so long battered us in that away game.
Definitely in that season. You know, and I always say that, like, you know what, right? If we lost 1-0 there and beat them 1-0 at Anfield, we would have gone through. It was just how football works. They did it all the way around. They went through. That's just football, and obviously Forest. But the difference is with Forest is that it gave us the kick in the arse which we needed in that moment of time. And you know what? Obviously, I feel like that's one of the main reasons that we did win the league, because I think, you know, it kind of gave us a real test that, oh shit, yeah, these shit teams, they're actually quite good. But now we've gone.
But
now we've lost 2 games at Anfield this season, and it's not even November. In fact, November's in 2 days. We've already lost 2 games at Anfield, right? We lost 2 games the entire season at Anfield last season, and even before then, we'd only really lose 1 game at Anfield. You know what I mean?
Yeah, tore up a bit of the goodness that Jurgen has because he held all them records, didn't he?
At any given time, and at any given time, really, apart from that one freak season in COVID where we lost 6 at Anfield on the bounce, under Jurgen, we really, at most of the season, we'd only really lose 1 game in the
max, lad. 2 max.
Yeah, 2 max. 2 max, and we've already lost 2, and it's October.
Do you know what? Well, that falls into it, lad. I want to bring up the slot situation. Look, do you know what, Greg? I said on our channel the other day, look, someone saying it's good to see you on the show, Greg. Andy's in the house.
Appreciate that. Thanks very much.
Like I said the other day, right? Do you know what? You just brought it up there. Klopp's lost 6 in a row, right? During COVID. Any other time, managers get sacked for that. But the ownership and they knew the fans would have fucking kicked off big time because the love for Jurgen. We were shite, lad. Do you know what I mean? Do you know one of the worst performances I've seen under Klopp was probably that City game at Anfield? Remember when Salah got the penalty back with no fans?
Yeah.
And they just went fucking slapped us all over the Ken, lad, didn't he? Absolutely back. It's like the head's just fucking plummeted. But the problem is now, because he's probably not connected so close with the fan slot, when games like this last night happen, people are all fucking losing their minds, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? If you've got more, I know he's got credits in the bank, but you've also got to have credits with the fans, lads. You know what I mean? Liverpool, Klopp said on that interview, lads, that Bartlett took the perfect time to put that fucking thing after the United
lads, you know what, right? You know what? Mad. I agree. Go on.
Mad, but Liverpool's more than a football team, lads. You and I both know that. We've gone everywhere with this fucking club, lads. And at the end of the day, mate, you've also got to play good football, lads. So if people aren't happy watching what they're getting, because Klopp always said, didn't he? It's about taking the people away from the normal lives and giving them 90 minutes of fucking something unbelievable to talk about. The only thing people are talking about at the minute, lads, shit. And he's got to sort it out, hasn't he? Where are you at with it, though? With the manager? Because people are complaining with the style of play, potential signings, and also like the shit that he's saying in the press conferences.
So, I know. So there's so much to talk about, so I'll start with the press conferences.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I'll start with the press conferences and slowly make me way to the pitch. Yeah. So, first off, big yourself up, Callum, lad. Thank you so much. But, the press conferences. Some of the stuff that he's saying not even quite. It's very concerning. It almost feels like not only that he doesn't really care, but he doesn't really have an answer, doesn't have a solution, and that. He also kind of is too arrogant to kind of be like, look, we just didn't play correctly, which is something that Klopp did. Klopp did that a fair few times, you know, unless he had his little kind of outspit at calling the ref a twat or something. You know, he'd say, look, we just didn't play well. We got the game plan wrong, whatever. And Slotzer seems to be saying that, but it's because they play the long ball or it's because they keep sort it out.
We know that, lads. You know what I mean? He knows that being the Liverpool manager.
Sort it out in the training field. Make sure that you know how to defend off these reasons why we're conceding loads of goals. Sort that out in the training field. It's all the things to complain about. Unless he genuinely means it as, look, this is how we got beat and we need to work on it. But in the tone of voice that he's speaking in, it doesn't seem like that. But obviously, you can say that. And so you go from the press conferences and then let's just go to the performances this season. Yeah. So we started off very well, 5 wins out of 5 in the league. Obviously beating Atletico in the Champions League as well. And so basically 6 out of 6 at that stage. You've won 6 games out of 6. Ultimately, the performances weren't there, but there was definitely positive signs. And obviously we got loads of last minute winners, whatever. But ultimately, I still feel like in the games that we won, we deserved to win them. I still feel like we were the better team. Maybe not Newcastle, because they went down to 10 men and he still got 2 goals back. So, you know, we
don't know that they came back in it, man, because we were shit.
Ultimately, in every other game that we did win, you know, we deserved to win. People kept on saying, last minute goals, you can't do that. You know, you can't always do that. Champions do that, but they do it when they need to do it. And champions don't need to do it all the time. So there was always that question there.
We were doing it every game. That was the problem.
But we were doing it every week. And people just said, it's because the new signs are getting used to whatever, when it all clicks, or that, the other. And then out of nowhere, out of nowhere, we get beat to Palace, and then all of a sudden, it's like we don't know what to do. And I think it was the most simple solution ever, and it was just a case of make sure we eliminate all sorts of threat from from set pieces. That includes throw-ins. Just eliminate all threats. Make sure we've got a strong defensive setup. Make sure that we challenge for second balls. Make sure that if we need to, play another centre back, maybe play with the back three or something. Just adapt the system in a way in which we can contain.
Well. You know what I mean at the back.
Yeah, exactly. Just play in a way in which we can contain that kind of threat and build off it. You see the performances, and every week they get worse and worse and worse and worse. But where I've drawn the line now is that with Palace, we all knew we should have been 4-0 down after 20 minutes. Alisson Becker, the world's best keeper, kept us in that game. Kept us in that game entirely. But we all know in that second half, we absolutely fucking battered them. We all know in that second half,
we have games in patches, Greg. That's the problem.
Yeah.
We're not putting 90 minutes together, are we?
Exactly. We all know in that second half, we absolutely battered them. And we could have easily nicked 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 million goals in that second half. But that's the problem. We could only do it in the second half. We couldn't start off that way and keep that going for the entire 90. It was the same at Galatasaray. We got had off by a bad pen. That's an unlucky one. And then Chelsea, again, first half, we got battered, outplayed, and then he brings on Wirtz, and then all of a sudden, we got momentum. We keep on attacking. Salah has a few sitters, which he misses. Gakpo gets his goal, and we keep on going. But then so did Chelsea. So you're kind of saying, look, we started matching up with Chelsea in the second half, though. So it almost kind of, the pressure that we already had from the first half, not only have we built up our own momentum, but because they've mirrored it, so we're still in the same position, just a bit more threatening, but so are they. So it evens out. But then you still got that thing of, when Wirtz came on, when Curtis Jones came on, we looked more threatening, we looked more compact, we looked more composed, we looked more set up. And so you still take that as a positive and say, look, okay, Fairs, we've got lucky sometimes. The other teams got lucky against us. That's just football. Let's continue on it, though. Let's use these positive signs, get these performances finally going, and results will click. United, the exact same script as Chelsea. First half, they battered us. They get an early goal, just like Chelsea. They utilised their game plan in the first half, just like Chelsea. It only took a second half substitution in Ekitike and Wirtz coming on for us to finally change our direction of football. But again, it's 45 minutes too late. We've already conceded that first goal. We've already got pressure,
aren't we? And you can't do that in the Premier League.
We've already conceded that goal in the first 2 minutes. We've already got that pressure on us. We've already had 45 minutes in which we were shit. Instead of just having that 45 minutes where we could have been the ones given a beating, we were the ones getting battered. And now we've only got 45 minutes to not only score, but then we've got to score again.
What's this fucking mad mountain to climb?
Exactly.
Do you remember during Klopp's time, right? Because I've had this chat with a few of the lads. You'd be like me. Do you know when teams used to go through one goal against Prime Virgil and Alisson, they were petrified, lads. And they never, the XG was so bad for them because they were scared. They always missed. Now, I've got so much confidence, lads. The scoring of the first shots, Frankfurt first shot, fucking United, 1 minute, lads. Brentford.
Caicedo again for Chelsea. It's like, you know what I mean? But as I said, so with them 4 games that we lost, like the first initial 4 being, Palace, Galatasaray, Chelsea and United, we still played well to some extent in them games, and we still could have easily nicked it. But because we've had our luck, they've had their luck against us. Again, that's just football. You get on with it. But there was still good positive signs from pretty much all 4 of them games, to which you say, look, okay, maybe we have to admit this is the transitional season. We might not do as well as we might do, but these are the signs of these are the positive signs of all the new players who've come in. This is how the system seems to be going when all these players work well together. And then you go to Brentford. You go to Brentford after beating Frankfurt 5-1, and you're thinking, wow, that Frankfurt game was the tactical perfection. We played them off the park for the entire 90 minutes, even when they scored their early goal. We just eliminated them.
Lads.
Yeah, we eliminated them. Yeah, we scored from 2 set pieces. But you know what, right? Arsenal have shown us this year, you have to score off them set pieces. They are the marginal gains. They are the marginal gains in a title race. It's just that last season, we were just so good at scoring regardless. But you got that tactical master plan in Frankfurt. You go to Brentford and you're thinking, you know what? Just play the exact same 11 by Isak because he's injured. So just
don't give it away by our goal, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
With the throw-ins and shit.
Just play the exact same start 11 bar. Obviously, Bradley comes in for Frimpong and Chiesa or Salah goes in for Isak. And just play the exact same system. Salah is not new to playing as a striker. We saw Salah play as a lone striker under Klopp. Klopp used to play a 4-2-3-1. Mane would be there. Shaqiri would be on the right. Firmino would be a 10, and Salah would be a striker. And it worked so many times. Salah's not new to being a striker, so just play him in that system as well as a 4-4-2, and just try and replicate what we did against Frankfurt. Because not only does that improve tactical awareness in the squad, it allows the players to get comfortable with what they're doing. It allows the players to get used to what they're doing. Not only that, if you're playing the exact same team, it allows players to actually form bonds with the new players. You know, that Brentford game was until yesterday, that Brentford game was the only game in which I genuinely walked out thinking to myself, there was nothing good to talk about. Like, we didn't look
horrendous,
there was nothing good to talk about. We couldn't even say, like, oh, the positive here was that at least, you know, this. No, there was nothing. Oh, at least Salah scored finally. That's it. But like that shouldn't even be a positive because Salah should be scoring every week.
Just fucking, when you look bad, lads, when it rains, it pours, lads. But you know what, right? I'm going to go into it after the slot thing, right? And I want your honesty on it. Do you think it turns it around? Because, do you think a few players have fucking questioned them within the squad?
Yeah, definitely.
They have to be, don't they? Because you can only lose fucking so many games. We've 6 and 7, lad. I don't know whether to laugh or fucking cry. Do you know what I mean, lad? It's fucking...
I know what you mean.
Honest to fuck. But you know what, though, lads? I feel like he's played some of the fucking... This year, right, you could see it earlier on, he started playing players into bad form, I thought. And that's where it was going to catch up. And you know what it's like, lad? It spreads like a cancer throughout the team, doesn't it? So as it does with good form, when one gets it, the old fuck it just filters through.
Yeah.
But I just think, do you know where you let yourself down a bit this fucking the last few weeks, Arnie, these subs, lad? Enzo fucking coming on for McAllister at Chelsea. Joe Gomez for fucking Waits the other night, lads, at Brentford. Like, what the fuck, lads? You know, you keep going on about low blocks and you take the ones off who are fucking there to break down low blocks, lads.
Yeah.
Like turn up to a fight with a gun, but fucking having a water gun, do you know what I mean, lads? What the fuck?
Like, I think that's okay. You got it nailed on there. On the Anfield Drop Show that I did this afternoon, I spoke a lot about Waits and how I feel like Slot had a clear plan going into the season and how he wanted to play. And I think Mark Gahey, us not signing Mark Gahey was a bad fuck up.
Question for you on Mark Gahey. Question for you. Do you think he was meant to play left back, Mark Gahey?
Left centre back. I think. Let me
tuck in when they go forward.
Let me just break this down. He brought in Wirtz because he wanted a midfielder who could play in tight spaces, so he could get the ball out to Frimpong and Kerkers. We seen Kerkers last season for Bournemouth. He was so good at running up and down the channels, creating spaces in behind, playing balls into the box. He was essentially what Andy Robertson was for us when he first joined. I'm not saying Andy Robertson's not that now, or he can't do that now, but you know what? That's what Andy Robertson was for us when he first started getting into the team. Exactly that exact same player. That's what Kerkers was at Bournemouth. So you bring in Mark Gahey. You got a three at the back now. You got Kanate, Van Dijk, and Gahey. Right? People have just got to hear me out. So not only does that free up space, in the midfield now for Kerkers and Frimpong, who you bring in on the wing backs to get involved in the midfield. But if Frimpong comes in and the ball gets to the left, Kerkers has got loads of space now on the left because you're playing now with two actual strikers in Ekitike and Isak. There was a clear plan in why every single player was brought in, a clear plan, and we were also preparing for life after Salah. You can't forget Salah's going to AFCON this year, right? And ironically, he's playing against Zimbabwe, so watch, he's going to be shit, and he scored a hat-trick against Zimbabwe, and I'm going to be fucking fuming. But there was a clear plan in why every single player was brought in, but the missing piece was Mark Gahey. And because of that, right, it's almost as if Slot has not even thought of what the plan B was because he was so set. He was so set on plan A, and it was it's kind of backfired now because obviously plan A's not worked. So we've kind of got to go to plan B, which is now the plan A. And the plan A now is you can't play the same way as last season because we don't have the same players. You can't play because you know it's a system that was heavily focused on Sent and Diaz. It was a system that was heavily focused with, you know, the ball getting out to Sent and making space in behind for Salah or whatever. That's what the system was. The midfield worked perfectly because Gravenberch could hold Sent's position while he attacked. It was perfect. Everything went well together because Slot implemented Klopp's team and he gradually added his own little kind of, you know, little detail to it, and it worked. It kept on going. Now he's got a whole new team. He had a plan which he wanted to implement into the league. He's not got the right personnel to do it. And now he doesn't really know. Not saying he doesn't know what to do, because I mean, to be fair, he probably doesn't right now. None of us do. But
yeah,
there was no kind of backup plan because he was so certain on this ideal setup which he had in his head going into the season. Because I think we can see it. You can see it, especially with the way Kerkers is playing. Kerkers is coming in from left back, and he's essentially playing like as a left kind of a left-sided holding midfielder. And you think to yourself, why is he going so much?
Little fucking channel, isn't he?
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know why he's coming into that space so much, because, like, you know, it's like the whole reason he's brought in is because he's so good at linking up with the left winger or whatever and being down the left. And you're bringing him into the middle, and Kerkers is not that kind of player.
That's what Robbo did last year, weren't he? He had him doing the same thing last year.
And I just think like that's where we're going wrong. It's a simple tactical issue. It's a simple tactical issue.
Yeah, and like Andy's saying here, though, lads, it's made Kerkers lost. Mate, he's been in so many different roles this season for Liverpool. No wonder his head's fucking scrambled. Do you know what I mean? And you know, lads, you probably heard it in the grounds. People are fucking fuming with him.
Yeah, I to be honest, though, right? I do think it's very, very unfair to not attack the new signings, but kind of use them as a scapegoat, because you can obviously criticise performances. There is nothing wrong with criticising a performance,
especially with the dough that they've cost some of them, lads. You know what I mean?
But when it comes to Kerkers, for instance, I just think, right, he's been thrown into a system which is uncertain for his position. I think
never done it, has he?
As I said before, like I feel like Slot had such an obvious plan in which he wanted to do, and he's not been able to do it. And so he's had to kind of experiment with Kerkers' position. And because it's changing every time, and because what Kerkers is like, the kind of role he's got every game is changing pretty much every game. It kind of it's putting him into a false sense of security. That obviously doesn't excuse all the times where, he's misplaced a back pass, or he's headed the ball out and to an attacking player or whatever. That's all individual coaching errors. That's all individual mistakes which can get coached out. But if we're talking actual player roles, that's not him. If he's out of position, that's not him. That's a systematic issue. Which obviously comes down.
Tell if he was out of position, if he was playing his natural role, you'd go, "What the fuck are you doing, lads? Sitting inside when you're meant to be getting down the thing." The problem is, though, lads, I do think he looks a bit lost playing this fucking. Do you know what? You know, the first half, right? We were talking off air, and you said we looked all right as the game started. He looked better when the ball was getting zipped around because he prefers fast football.
Yeah, that's exactly that.
Just fucking looking around like a dickhead. He's like, that's not him. Do you know what I mean? He wants to be going down the line, crunching fucking tackles. Now he just looks like a bit of a fart out there now, doesn't he? Because he looks lost. Like,
but again, I don't think that's all entirely necessarily his fault. I just think that's just one of them where it's a systematic issue. The coaching points are still there. The what you should do in this moment here, what you should do in that moment there. But in terms of like his actual role in the team and him looking lost, you can't put that down to him. You can only put that down to the one who sets the team up, and that is Slot.
Lads, because ultimately, lad, in any fucking role, any job, you know yourself, the manager has to take it on the chin. So ultimately, he puts people in the seats, doesn't he? So, it's one of them. Do you know what? Like, quick question before we quickly go on to some of the signings, and then we'll go on the ticket thing, which we spoke about. Yeah. Does he turn it around for you, the manager?
Does he turn it round?
Because that's the fucking big question, lads. And I'll be honest, Greg, do you know what? Just so you know where I stand with it. Do you know he had a settled team last year? And I think when he started thinking an arm, it was about February, March. When he did that, we started conceding goals, and I don't think we've looked good for a long time. I know Andy in the comments has spoke to me about it for a long time, so fair play to him. But you know what? At the minute, it's hard for me to see things. You need a bit of confidence, I think, to know if he's going to turn it down or not. And at the minute, I'm struggling to find it, lad. So I'm unsure if he will at the minute. So I don't know where you are, because these games are going to come thick and fast now.
It's a tough question, that, and I don't think there's an obvious answer, because I think, goodness me, because I think that the 3 next games that we've got, like, are so kind of like, how do I say it? How do I say it? Yeah, because the next 3 games are look, the Aston Villa, right? We should be beating them at Anfield regardless. Okay, then you got City away, or Real Madrid home, and then you got City away. Everyone knows, in retrospect, doesn't matter if we were so heavy at the start of the season or if we're crap now. The moment we found out that we would be playing Madrid and then City, everyone knew that 5-day period was going to be one of the toughest of the season, regardless.
One of the hardest, of course it is, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's why, for me, I'm like, does he turn it around? I'm like, maybe not in these next 3 games. Maybe not. We might beat Villa and then maybe draw to Madrid and get sonked by City. Or we might beat Villa, lose to Madrid, draw to City, whatever. I think turn it around. I think you've got to give him past. I think you've got to give him
like January on it to see.
Because I feel like, look at that. Let me say this instead. Look at our next fixtures after these next 3. After the big 3, let's just call these the big 3. After the big 3, I think we've got Forest at home.
Is one of them, yeah.
PSV at home, and then we've got West Ham away, right?
Should be
and then I think after West Ham, and then after West Ham, let me get these up real quick on my laptop, right? So I'm gonna look at these. So after the big 3, we've got Forest home, PSV home, West Ham away, Sunderland home, and Leeds away. So they're our next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games after the big 3. I think
most of them.
I think you should get to West Ham. You get to West Ham, and you haven't won a single one of them games. I think that's the point where you say, look, if he can't fucking beat West Ham,
we're finished.
If you can't beat West Ham with these players that we've got, with this team that we've got, lad, I'm not saying he's got to go then and there, but I'm saying, look, how I think that's the game.
Greg, the difference is you may not, but a few players might be like, your time's done.
Yeah, no, true. A few players might, and a few fans might. And I think for me, where I stand right now is that if you get to that West Ham game in is it early December or no, late November, so just before December, West Ham game, you get to that West Ham game and we still haven't won. I think that's where the line is crossed, where it's like, look, now you are in serious trouble, because then you get close to a transfer window, then you can analyze what coaches are free who might be looking for a way out of the club that they're at right now, and then you can give them a transfer window. You can give them a few games leading up to a transfer window, and then give them a transfer window.
No, the club's going to a period where they're doing shit. Gary's having none of it, lads. He's coming for fucking. I've just nearly said he's coming for Jürgen, but he's coming for a fucking Arnie. Lads on this channel keep fucking switching the names all the time. I do think you're right. Look, this is Andy said. He understands what you say. He said, "I get that, but what if he loses the next 3?" The problem that he's got is these next 3, right? As much as they're so difficult. Well, I don't really class Villa shouldn't be difficult for Liverpool.
Villa shouldn't be difficult, but the form they're on scary.
But you know us, lad. We should be fucking swatting teams. Do you know what I mean at Anfield? We know what we're about. We're just not in the groove at the minute. But the fact is, these 3 shit our season up. Because if we lose the 2 Prem games, you may as well consider the league fucking finished. Do you know what I mean? And if we lose to Real Madrid, that's the problem. They're so awkwardly timed, these games, aren't they? Because it sets you up. This is remember last year when it's the shame. How the fuck have we ended up with Real Madrid and City again, lad? Back to back.
In the same week.
In the same week again, lad. Like, fuck me, what's the chances? But it sets you up. So if Liverpool have a bad next 3 games, I do struggle to see him fucking surviving myself. I really do. Maybe not, maybe the ownership will be thinking, fucking hell, who'd you get in? But, lads, you know how fans are, especially on that fucking Twitter, lad. There's some fucking idiots on there. Do you know what I mean? And, lads, it just builds and builds and builds. And at the end of the day, I genuinely believe, lad, I don't know if you agree, but I definitely think Slot sees the media shit a lot more than people think.
I think he does, because I think that was the good thing about Jürgen. He didn't see it. He didn't see it. But I feel like Slot does. I want to go back to that point where Lil SG said, "I get that, Greg, but if you lose the next 3, look."
Oh yeah, this one, yeah.
Yeah, I said, look, these next 3 games, right, are extremely difficult regardless. I think even when we were playing, even when we were winning games and we saw that these 2 games were coming up next to each other, regardless of what we did last season, we all know Madrid are monumentally better than what they were last season. And we know that Man City are also monumentally better than what they were last season. So most fans were probably thinking going into this week that we might get a draw against Madrid and we might get a draw against City, and would really be happy with that. I think that's the mentality that people were going into that week with anyway. The dynamics obviously changed. I'm not going to deny that. The dynamic of it has obviously changed drastically. And it's come to the point where it's a must win. But I think you've got to be fair with it and say, look, none of us were expecting to, well, not none of us. I'm not speaking for everyone. I'm just saying maybe a general whole. You got to say, look, most people are probably expecting to go into that week and say, maybe you win one and draw one, or maybe, you win one, you draw the other, or you draw this one. You know what I mean? We were probably all, as a collective, expecting us to maybe only win one and not win the other game. So you got to look at it fair like that, because that could still easily happen. Look, the Champions League is a competition in which you only got to be good on in the day. And we don't even need to fucking beat Madrid to win the Champions League. I don't think people understand this. Oh. We don't actually need to do well right now in the Champions League to fucking win it. We don't. We just need to finish. We just need to finish 24th or higher to win the Champions League. That is it. All it means is if we don't finish in the top 8 is that we've got 2 less games to play in the season. But you know what? Why fuck it? Who's asked about playing 2 more games? Them 2 games might help our season. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we look like a team that needs some fucking games, lads. You know what I mean? That gets you to get used to each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Half of our team's new players, lads. Do you know what I mean? Half of them haven't got a fucking. Do you know when I look at our team at the minute, lad, we look like a team that's badly coached. Do you know what I mean? They're so out of position and shit like that. Like, for instance, lads, we've both seen some unbelievable midfields at Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
This one at the minute doesn't even look like it's got a fucking midfield in it. Do you know what I mean? The gap in the middle of the pitch, lads, it's like, fucking, where's Wally? Do you know what I mean? Where the fuck are they?
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it, though? Because you've got a midfield, a Premier League winning midfield in Gravenberch, McAllister.
You can't see them, lads. The fucking
Szoboszlai's been playing right back for half the season, or probably more than half the season now. You got Gravenberch has been filling in a centre back. You know, Gomez has been on the bench, and he's still playing Gravenberch centre back. And look, McAllister's not been up to it recently. He just hasn't. That's just the fact of the matter. McAllister's just not. So then you're throwing Wirtz into a dynamic, which, you know, he's going from. Because he's been coming off the bench in some of the big games. Like I'll use Chelsea as a reference, right? So Chelsea, who started at midfield? It was. I'm pretty sure it was Maka, Szoboszlai, and Gravenberch. No, Bradley played right back. So it was Maka, Szoboszlai, and Gravenberch who started that game in the midfield. You bring on Wirtz. I can't remember who he took off, but you bring on Wirtz, right? And then all of a sudden you bring off Kanate, and Gravenberch is now at centre back, and you brought on Curtis Jones. And no disrespect to Jones, right? But Gravenberch is a much better player than Jones, right? Cool. And so Bradley comes off as well because he's on a yellow, and Szoboszlai is now in the right back position. So now you brought on Wirtz for the pure sake of now getting energy into the team, and all of a sudden the midfield, in which is helping Wirtz get energy into the team, is now out of position.
Yeah. And then Endo fucking came in at Chelsea, didn't he? And just took the passing ability. Lad, this is what I couldn't believe, lad. I was like, Arnie, what are you doing, lad? Maka was the only one giving the ball to Wirtz, and then fucking Endo comes in. Do you know what I mean? Just took all the life out of it. And lads, do you know what? Florian in particular, lad, so unlucky with some of the games. I thought the other night he was shite.
I think so too. As I said, I think Wirtz has had a very unlucky kind of start.
Lad,
I think he's been one of our best. Generally.
Yeah. But I mean, lads, you know what them dickheads are like on that Twitter, lad. That, you know, that all that 008 shite and all that crap.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault that when he plays the ball to Salah against Chelsea with that back flick, that he hits it over the bar.
Lads, if that goes in like goal of the season, lads, do you know what I mean?
It's not his fault that every time he passes the ball to Cody Gakpo, he decides to cut it and swing it into Rose Head. Like, that's not his fault. He's done his job. It's now the players or the strikers' jobs to finish the ball and score.
Yeah. Question for you here, Greg. Kyle, you're not worried about our lack of identity? Seems like Slotter's trying anything through the game. Just hope it sticks. Yeah,
of course, I'm worried about the lack of identity. Yeah. The entire basis of us winning the league last season was that we'd fight for every second ball. Like, just the little things like that. We'd fight for every second ball. When a team got the ball and we were attacking and counter-attacking to us, it was, what's it called? Every single player, bar maybe Salah, got back and defended. And then we'd essentially catch them out because everyone would get back so quick, and then we'd hit them on a counter. Because Mo Salah was still up there, get the ball to Salah, Salah would do something, get an assist, get a goal. That was our thing, that was our game plan. Now it kind of just seems like no one's really fighting for anything. When we lose the ball, players are strolling back. When we have the chance to play fast, players are not risking the
I think they look a bit unfit, you know.
They're too scared of, if they play that ball and lose, they're gonna get slated, and we've lost a lot of that risk. I think we've lost a lot of that risk, and obviously that plays into the identity. And look, obviously it is worrying. It is very worrying because there was things that were very, very clear last season in which what we had, you know, even like I'm going to use Nunes as a reference. You see the way that fucker ran for every single ball. He pushed like a
back line further back because he was just a relentless fucking fellow, wasn't he?
He was the reason why half the time we got the ball off a second ball. It was because of him. Because he just run, and then he forced them to play a long ball, and we get it off the wrong ball because we get the second ball off it. You know, it's stuff. It is simple stuff like that.
You think, lads, with the likes of the, you know, obviously Diogo no longer with us, rest in peace to him, but he was a pressure as well in the team. You know, Nunes was just like a fucking energizer bunny. Even like he put loads of the fucking footies on the fucking cop roof. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, lads, you knew with him, right? Backlines knew they had a game on their hands because he just look at his first game, lads. He was fucking
never be certain with it.
He didn't even know what he was going to do, lads. You know
exactly.
What I mean? We never knew. He fucking
that was the magic of it, wasn't it?
This was it, but you know, I know it didn't work out for him. It was some fucking ride with him, lad. Like he was fucking off his fucking cake, him, lad. And he knew that fucking me. But lads, I've got to go into the ticketing thing. But look, before we go into it, look, smash a like and subscribe, and obviously give me and Greg a follow on Twitter. Yeah, he's got his Twitter in there. Greg, we go the match for anyone that doesn't know, and I'm sure there's a few in the chat. I know a few. I can see a few scouts in the chat. And I appreciate you coming on with me today, lad, because I thought you'd be a good person for it. You know, we go the homes, the aways, the Europeans, as much as we could get to. But it is a conversation that comes up a lot, and the ticketing survey was one. And I know you were meant to go on it with a few of the big channels as well. You know, what's your take on the ticketing situation at Liverpool? Because for me, for instance, who goes on some of the, you know, a lot of the European aways, the crediting system is important, lad. Do you know what I mean? And especially on the away games in the league. And, well, obviously the home games as well. It's a touchy subject at our club, lads, because it's fucking,
it really
it's like rocking all shit tickets these days, lads, as you know. Do you know what I mean?
Look, as a match-going fan, I just want to be rewarded for the effort that I put in. That's all I ask for.
We've gone some trips, lad, with your speaker, haven't we?
I've done some trips. You know, me and my mates have done some trips, and all I want to do is get rewarded for going the match. I don't have any Premier League away credits. I've got all the Champions League ones though, which I thank fuck for that. You know what I mean? Because it makes my job a lot easier when it comes to going to Europe. But I'm always having to scramble for away tickets because these people who have so much access to them either tout them or what's it called? They just, you know, they're just touting them or they just give it to their mates, which is fair enough. I have nothing against giving a ticket to your mate if you can't go. That's perfectly sound.
That's the way it's always been, lad, isn't it?
Well, it gets to a point in which you've got, and do you know what, right? And the thing is, I hate having to like single out a particular group and kind of say it's them, because obviously it's a collective issue. But let's just say, for reference, you've got all these our fellas, right, who have been going since credits even started, right?
Well, they were there from the beginning, aren't they?
They were there from the beginning. They saw it all, right? And some of them still go, you know. Fucking is right. Like I got on the SOS a few times and they're still there and they have been there for fucking 40 years.
You know what, like on ours FTL, you see the same old fellas all the time, Greg, do you know what I mean?
And I love that. Yeah. And I love that. But it gets to a problem where you have the people who have got the credits and each week they give it to someone different because they're not going themselves, but then they save their own credit so they can go to the City, they can go to the Everton, they can go United, they can go to Chelsea's. But then I'm using their ticket maybe every other week. I'm getting one off them. I'm getting one off them. I'm getting one off them.
They're getting the benefit of it.
they're still getting the benefit of it.
Yeah.
And if they just decide one day that they want to go, then they can go. But me, who I've been going away now for 4 years.
Yeah.
Now, and all I want is that I want to be rewarded for my effort. And I've got my 13 plus. I've got my Auto Cup schemes. So I've been going Anfield now for 15 years, and I've got all my things guaranteed every London game, fucking hell, every Anfield game, right? Because I put in all that effort and I've been rewarded for it, and that's all I want. And
this is it, and the touchy subject, Greg, is because us as the locals around the ground and shit. The argument is like because there's so much worldwide audience, it feels like there's a fucking massive amount more say with that survey situation compared to the local thing. And I know it's fucking certainly hard, but what people don't see is like, for instance, when we're doing them fucking trips, just last season, Arsenal away, back, and then Brighton in the fucking cup. Brighton on that coach, lads, fucking 7.5 hours. I nearly pissed me kicks about fucking 4 times, lads, on that A25 or wherever the fuck it is by London. But it's fans like that should be rewarded. But you and I both know, and we see it on Twitter. You've probably added a few more with discussions on Twitter. You've got a bigger following than me. But there's a fucking divide, isn't there, between people have the local fan and they argue with the out of towner.
Yeah.
But we know it's important. You've got to have worldwide fucking fans as well, lad. Do you know what I mean?
I think the only people who have a problem with that are people that want to have a problem with something. I think most people don't have a problem with where anyone is from, but the frustration comes when the people get frustrated when they see a snide picture. Let's call it what it is. Some of these pictures of some foreign people in an ROA ends or whatever are very snide. They're taken like this on the phone to the chest, and they've got a half. It'll be like I seen one at Brentford. It was an Asian fella with a half and half scarf. He had a Liverpool shirt over a hoodie, whatever. And he let's be honest. Because of that, he doesn't dress like a Scouser. He looks out of place because he's not wearing like a Scouse attire. He looks out of place. He's got a half and half scarf. He's got a big camera like this, right? And it looks like he's just taking pictures from the stands. And a picture like that gets lashed on Twitter, and then all of a sudden, how's he got one over me? How's he got one over me?
Yeah, bombarded then, lad, isn't it?
And let me just say, don't be angry at him for having the ticket. Be angry at the one who sold him the ticket.
The cunt who sold it to, do you know what I mean? For about 5-6 ton.
Yeah, most likely, the person who sold him the ticket was the fella that you sit next to on the coach. The person who sold him the ticket, most likely, is the lad that you get. It's the same one that you probably see in the pub every now and again and go, "Oh, how are we, mate? You right? Oh, have you got any space for the game? Nah, I don't have. Sorry. And the truth is, lad, he sold it to that fella. He sold it to that Asian fella for 500 quid because he didn't want to give you it for 30. That's the truth of it.
But this is
the truth of it.
Yeah, then
So I don't blame anyone who is in the ground.
And once they make the effort to go, you can't blame them.
Because they've paid the money from whatever retailer they've got it from. They've paid the money to go the game. They've got their ticket. They've gone the game sound. That is the most basic of things ever. But the problem is, obviously, when you see, I want to be careful how I phrase it because I feel like if you say like these people, in the most horrendous of ways. But when you say, when you go in, let's just reference that fella at the Brentford game. When you see a fella who's there with a half and half scarf with a massive camera, no matter where they're from, people are always going to say, "Oh, you got a ticket over me?" And I'll be honest, that is a massive problem regardless. Because I'll be honest, I'm not trying to sound entitled as a fan, but when I've got mates who are sat at home who try and go home and away every week or something, or they've got a season ticket, but because they've only just got it now. They can't stack up away credits. And then I see someone with a half and half scarf, big camera in their hand, and let's be real, sometimes people, for foreign fans, some of them can't speak a word of English. I'm not saying
they don't even know the songs and all that, and it stands out on their behalf.
And I'm not saying that it's right to be angry at these people because it obviously isn't. Let's call it what it is. It is clear discrimination. And it is pointing anger towards the wrong people. You really got to be talking about, you really got to be singling out the people who are selling them the tickets.
I know loads of people who are doing it. I'm sure you're the same who were selling the tickets for serious Joe, lads. And, it's going to the wrong hands, isn't it? Because, going to match is precious, lads. And if it's took away from you, it's one of them. Like, do you know what, lads? Like, I've had major fucking beef in fucking Anfield at times with Scousers as well, sat next to me, who've been that many fucking times as well, and they don't appreciate it. And I'm like, listen, you miserable bastard, fucking start singing. Do you know what I mean? Because lad, fucking, if I said to you, lad, you're not going to match next year at Anfield, you'd be like, wow, you know what I mean? If someone takes it away from you, you fucking realise. I think, especially in the home games, and we'll go on to the Ospo quickly before we wrap it up. But like, some people don't appreciate it, lads. Do you know what I mean?
No,
and that's fucking probably. And I think, fucking, there's certain lads, as an example, FTL, you know how many of the younger lads fucking go on them aways without tickets, lads. They give their left bollocks to get a ticket.
At least 10 of them at each game.
And they're there every week, lads. Midweek, fucking getting home 5 a.m, lads. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's loads of them. And look, as a Scouser, obviously, I'm going to be biased. I will never be against someone who's not from Liverpool who still puts in the same effort going home and away.
That's
I know a lot.
That's where the argument comes in, isn't it? A lot.
I know a lot of non-Scousers who have the credits for the ways and they still go every week and they do it. They're proper. Do you know what I mean? And I have no qualms against them. I've got no disrespect against them either. I can only say good things about them because that's how the credit system's built. You get rewarded on what you do. But obviously, as I said, as a Scouser, I am still going to be biased towards Scousers. I will admit that openly. I still want to see, especially our away ends, I want to see Anfield filled with the next generation of Scousers just like me. I want to see,
it's got to be the new age has to come in. I'm older than you lads, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just want to see an away end which is just full of, I started going the aways when I was 17 because I could finally afford to go. I could finally afford to travel, whatever. And I was at the age where I could travel by myself, really. You know what I mean? You get to 16, 17, 18, and you're at that age where you want to just go out the house. You don't want to be with your mum and dad no more. You know what I mean? You're like, man, fuck off, man, I want my own space. And so that's why I started going the aways as well. No, I mean,
the best trips, lad, by the way, aren't they? How fucking everyday ways, lads.
You know what I mean? And then sometimes I do get a bit disheartened when I'm like, this is she like. Sometimes I could just be like, lad, there's no Scousers. Like, there's literally none.
Do you know what, lads? Right? I remember fucking Arsenal last year, lad. The amounts coming through the turnstiles, no getting into it, and I was like, fucking hell, mate. You wouldn't think this is a Liverpool game here. And I was shocked. And I, like you said before, I was just like, the fucking touts are ruining this, lad. And it's taken away the fucking excitement. Because let's be honest, lads, some of the lads that we know that don't have the ticket, they create some of the best atmosphere around. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. The game for it, they're what you want in the grounds, lads. And I think it's the shame fucking what the club needs to do. They need to look at targeting some of the younger fucking Scousers as well to get on these ticket schemes, lads. Because you and I both know the ones who've got the full aways, brilliant that they've got it, but the new age is going to struggle to get them now.
Yeah,
there's no chance. Fucking so hard.
Yeah, you've got to sort. They've got to sort it out really, and I think just because if you look, Liverpool Football Club have come out as a collective, and they said they make all these videos on social media on LFC TV about how much they appreciate the culture of fans, and you get Kenny Dalglish on videos and he talks about all this, that. Then you get Ian Rush on, and you get all these players, all these ex-players who talk about the culture of Liverpool Football Club. And unfortunately, if they do really value the culture of Liverpool Football Club, they're going to have to, they've got to adapt. I don't think they care enough. If they do really care about this culture which they talk about in all these videos and all these promo videos, whatever, whatnot, they really have to start prioritizing the young local fans. You look, you go to like video, go to pictures like the 80s in the Cup, and you
scan. Was that lads back then, lads, and it's changed now.
Yeah, you go back to the 80s and all the flags in the Cup, right? Doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. They could all be from fucking. Like, they could all be from Brighton, all them people, for all I care. They could be. But they were all young lads following their team. Because, I mean, for me especially, it'll be very, very hypocritical for me to say, oh, lad, if you're not from Liverpool, oh, fuck off. Especially with that flag right there. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I'll be very, very hypocritical.
But it's such a fucking precious thing, the match, lads, isn't it? It's the best day out, lad, with your mates, isn't it?
It's the one day I look forward to in the week, every week.
Just at the minute, it's a fucking hard one. Fucking lads, I'm going to be grey as fuck by the time I get back this week, lads. Do you know what I mean? These fuckers are driving me insane. But just like, for instance, Greg, you've probably seen it like me. Do you know on the European aways, for instance? This is where I get fucked up with the club. You know they have a stack of tickets usually. We normally go to the collection points and shit like that. There's always going to be more going the aways, lads, than the fucking tickets fucking cater for. You know, in the Europeans, for instance, you'll have all the players' tickets that they're not even collecting and they just leave them to go to waste. That shit grinds my gears. They should be going, there you go. You know, so people that don't have the tickets, Reds, make the fucking... Because, lads, you think about it. We make a proper trip at the fucking Europeans, lads. You know what it's about. You know.
Serious trip, though.
Serious trip, lad. I always come back and I need the holiday, lads. Do you know what I mean? That fucked from it. But, like, I just know that there's times at the club where they're not asked, and you know what it's like. We get treated like fucking dickheads on the European aways, lads. It's like we roll the red carpet out. For instance, fucking Napoli were running around the fucking ground at Anfield, you know what I mean? Where us carted in shitty fucking coaches with cages on and sent to the fucking port miles away, do you know what I mean? Like dickheads.
Kept behind for 2 hours in a
2 hours, lads, not even letting you go for a piss and all that, do you know what I mean, lads? Like, you're treated like fucking animals in some of these gaffs, lads. But for instance, I know the big thing in the home games as well, lads, is the Ospo pisses people off. I know people would have bought the Villa drops online. All you could see is fucking 500 quid, 1,000 quid fucking Ospos. Even in the lower Kenny and shit, because that's what on the telly they catch all like a load of Japanese, don't they, on the fucking front rows by the cop. They're match going fucking normal tickets. They shouldn't be giving Ospo there, do you know what I mean? And I understand the Ospo brings in the dough. Lad, we know the club shop will get absolutely fucking hammered by all of, you know, the people coming from all over the world. And rightfully so, if they don't go all the time. But I mean, to have that many Ospos when people are looking for tickets, lad, I think it's a fucking piss take.
And you know what, though? I think you've got a spot on as well, because no one's saying that these people don't deserve to go to Anfield, because obviously
anyone wants to go can go, can't they?
If you're a Liverpool fan, lads, going to Anfield just even once in your life, if you can do it. It must be the most special feeling ever.
Like when you walk out and you see the pitch, lads, I still get goosebumps now, lads.
Yeah, same. And even against Madrid, I will still get that, knowing that I am going to watch a European match at Anfield. But still, it's like there's too much of it, because look, how do I phrase it? Like, you've got the upper Annie, and you've got the middle section of the upper Annie, which is all hospo, fine. But then you've even got the upper portion of the upper Annie, which is still like the bottom 10 rows of the upper portion is still hospo. So you've essentially got that entire new stand where you got the bottom, the half of it is for the away fans in the lower tier, and half of it's for Liverpool fans. You then got the middle section, which is all hospo. But then you got the first 10 rows of the upper section, which are all hospo. So essentially, in that
what's
top
Brody
tier stand,
it's called, isn't it? Is it Brody Lounge or something?
Yeah. So essentially, in the upper tier of the Anfield Road, you've got 60% hospo, 40% general administration. And it's like, no, why? No, come on. Like,
what? A grand a pop, some of them, you know.
Oh.
So, like, local fans aren't going to pay you that.
Nah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. And that's where the local fans do get fucked off with it. And like Ticho's here say, he's a match goer. I don't know if you know, and Ticho on Twitter.
I think so, yeah.
You probably will. He's always on Twitter as well. He's always in our chat, boss. But I mean, he's like, lad, it kills the atmosphere, because it's, you know, you and I both know, lads. I've been loads of times in the dugouts. I've got mates with season tickets, and I'll jump in there if I need a seat. You know what I mean? And it is a belter, lads, the big stand-up bar. But I also know, like, I'd prefer being in the fucking cop, or I've got loads of mates in the lower main. You know, we've had season tickets for years. But I mean, you know, a lot of them aren't like the normal fucking match-going fans, lads. You know, when they're fucking scranning fucking pizzas and fucking all that. Lads, when I go to the match, and you'll be the same, my fucking voice is cabbaged at the end of it, lad. Do you know what I mean? Fucked. Come out looking like I've had a fight with Tyson Fury, lad.
After Frankfurt, man. Goodness me.
Lads, especially on that German beer, lads.
I know. Hey, proper gone, though. Your voice was proper gone.
Lads, but that's what it's about.
Yeah.
You know yourself. It's hard as it is, lad, to get the briefs now.
I don't know, man. I just think there's two. I don't know if I've sat in hospital once in my life, and it wasn't at Liverpool. It was for an England game in the Euros, right? And I was doing it only because it was an England game, and I thought, you know, right, I'll just sit in hospital, because you know what, I've never experienced. Let me see what it's like. And you know what, it is actually a very premium way of experiencing football. I'm not saying I do it every week, but you know what, I don't see a problem in there being minimal hospitality. I feel like it's the common saying, isn't it? everything is good in moderation, or everything's bad. Everything is bad for you if it's too much. It's like, water. It's the best. Water is the best thing for the human body. But if you drink too much of it, you'll die.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Do you know what I mean? Like what's it called? Like having a bevy. Having a bit of a bevy sound, it makes you a bit loose, but you get a bit more confident, whatever. Yeah, it's sound. If you have too much, you're going to just black out and collapse.
Well, we know all about that. On them ways,
do you know what I mean, though? So I'm actually not totally against hospitality. I'm just saying that I feel like it has to be an extreme moderation.
It depends, as I say, lad, it depends where it is. Do you know where it's mixed? Like, for instance, in the Upper Kenny, it's fucking mixed. In the upper tier, you've got, to get into the likes of the Prem clubs, you have to go through another set of stairs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You come down to the normal concourse. But then when people are starting to get drops and stuff, they should be just giving away, because they could be classed as normal tickets. I understand in the dugouts in the main stand, you couldn't really just give them away as normal tickets, because especially if fucking people have paid the fucking season tickets, you know what I mean? They're I think they're about $3,500 season tickets. So the way you get into that, there's only one way, do you know what I mean? Up the fucking stairs, the main stand. Whereas the Upper Kenny one, they could give them away normally. Yeah. But the problem is they don't. And
it's just the way the stadium's built, though, isn't it? Like, there's a reason why they built the new Annie Road stand the way they did. It's because they wanted to maximise the amount of hospo seats they could sell, and that's why you even see in the upper tiers of the Anfield Road, AU3, AU4, all them ones, because you've got AL, and then you got AM, and you got AU.
Yeah.
Even in the AUs, you got hospo seats. Even in the AUs, you got hospo seats, and it's basically they built the stand for that reason. Because now that entire middle section can take that much hospitality.
Big money to them, lads, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Sponsors have all got little sections.
I was always against the building of the new stand, mate. I said it. If you go back to tweets in 2022, I was saying, look, if anything, this will actually make tickets harder to get, because all of that stands is going to be hospo.
Well, you're taking away the normal generation.
And do you know what, right? Do you know what we've not even talked about? The proposed young adult section in the lower Annie.
There you go. Know what I mean?
All that said, and we've not even brought up one of the most controversial things the club's ever gone back on.
Yeah, look, I'll say it here as well. Preferred it when it was 40k. The percentage of fucking season ticket holders massively fucking dropped. And do you know what? Just touch it up. You mentioned fucking Everton before. They're a ground that when they're on it back in the day, it was fucking hard going to fucking get a win there.
Experienced it last season. Last season for the 2-2.
Lad, how hard was that game?
That was proper noise. Pure noise, lad.
Until Harvey Elliott started winding them up on that fucking interview with that kid. What's that lad's name? Ryan. And he was like, was it loud up there? And he went, just the Liverpool fans.
Do you know what I mean, though? Look, I hate them. I don't like Everton.
They know what it means, like us, lads, with the game.
But you know what? I'll give it to them. That good. I don't know about Bramley Moore now, because on Twitter and all my Everton mates, they all say, lad, it is getting flooded with bad walls. But that Goodison Park, mate, that was pure 39,000 Scousers week in, week out. And there was actually no denying it.
Season tickets were so close on the map area. Do you know what I mean? A lot of them were from Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas now the season tickets at Anfield, the percentage is such a fucking difference now.
But I think look, what you can do is that you can use Everton as a reference to how a fan base or a local core fan base can be disrespected. Because I speak to loads of my mates now who are Blues, and they all say, lad, in Goodison Park, I was sat next to some fella who lived 2 minutes away from me. Now I'm sat next to some fella, a different fella each week, and they just come from a different part of the world each week. And I'm like, lad, wait, how have you done that? I don't get it. How has that happened? Do you get what I'm saying? Surely
with these new grounds.
How has that happened? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a fucking strange one.
And the thing is, right, is that Liverpool have already gone through that. I think Liverpool went through that during the early days of FSG. And I'm not saying it, I'm blaming FSG for it. I was 6, 7 at the time. I was that age, around 2012, 2011, 12, I was around that age. So I went to my first game when I was 5 or something, whatever. And I've been going since then with my dad. And, I think it really did start. I think my earliest memories of Anfield was you walk, you go the game, and I was surrounded by Scousers all over the place. Because me and my dad had shared season ticket holders, shared season tickets with someone that my mum knew. So basically much, we'd go every game that we could, whatever, and we'd go to maybe 10 a season or something. But I remember this. I can remember all the fellas' faces around me so perfectly.
Well, it would always be the same fucking people.
One fella to the left, he was chewing gum every day with a mad mustache, right? And I remember sitting in that exact position a couple, what's it called, last season for fucking that Italian team we played at Anfield in the Champions League. That exact position. And do you know what? Do you know who was in the seat? Just some fella wearing a half and half scarf, lad. That exact same seat, which that fella from 2010 was chewing gum, going, lad, you're fucking shite.
It's changed so much, lad.
It's someone in a half and half scarf in his seat. 10
lad,
years
I just can't understand, lad, the half and half scarf. We know with going to matches, I don't know how you could ever, our local store could fucking sell a Man United Liverpool scarf, lad. And I don't know which fucking dickhead would buy it as well, which they do, lad. To me, it blows my mind, lad. There should never be a Liverpool or Man United fucking name on a piece of fucking material, lad. Do you know what I mean? Never. They're fucking scumbags, lad, some of them, do you know what I mean? But I mean, I still can't get my head around it. And I just still can't understand how the local stores will fucking sell them, lads, out on the ground. When they know how touchy of a fucking subject it is, lads. And if you buy them on a dem, you just don't understand it. Do you know what I mean? But
I just don't. I think a half and half scarf really is only acceptable for maybe a kid going their first game or something
a final
like
or something like a souvenir.
A final or something, and you buy a half and half scarf after the game's finished or something around it. I don't know. I think you can judge someone on what kind of fan they are, and again, you can't talk about this kind of subject without hurting someone's feelings. But you can half judge someone on what kind of fan they are on a half and half scarf.
Well, you just know they don't get it. Do you know what I mean? If you got it, lads, you certainly wouldn't be buying that fucking shower of shite down the road in Manchester, fucking half and half scarf. Do you know what I mean? I understand it if it's a final, but that's about it, lads. Other than that, fucking, they should be just last in the bin. Liverpool shouldn't be having the name on scarves with other fucking teams, no way. But yeah, we'll wrap it up, lads. Because you've been on it for ages with me, and I'm fucking made up you did. I hope you'll come on again, lads, because I know you had loads of people saying this right here's Greg.
No, I definitely will, man. There's nothing I love more than just chatting shit about footy, innit?
Well, let's hope the next time you're on, lads, we're fucking banging goals in and fucking winning. When we're partying on the coach with your speaker.
Yeah, if it's next Thursday, fucking hell, we'll be torn off the Madrid, won't we?
Yeah. Well, look,
that'll be a bad angle over that.
Yeah, lad, look, you're welcome anytime, but I know you're busy. You're fucking on every channel at the minute. I've seen you in London down there and doing shows and everything with AJT, weren't you?
Yeah. That was heavy, being around, obviously, the entire setup and that, and obviously you've got the DR Sports and AFTV lot down there, so you're just talking to them down there. Yeah. Just talking to them about content and that, and it's all, it was all sound, it was all good. And even making a little cameo on DR myself, which I genuinely didn't expect. I just expected to just watch the show and get off. But what can I say, man? You've got look. The only way you're ever going to get traction and get people to click is just by talking to other people from all different platforms and whatever. And ultimately, that's the only way you make noise. And I feel, do you know what I do feel like as well? And I feel like I might offend a few people because I'm actually going to call out Scousers. I think Scousers have got such a negative attitude towards all the kind of fun stuff.
Do you know what, lad? Can I tell you something, right? So we do there's a few Scousers on ours that we do it with. Well, I do it with mates of mine. But I thought, I'm going to do a Scouse Therapy show because I don't see Scousers watching any fucking podcast. And I think it'd be a laugh. Do you know what I mean? With some of our local fucking fans. Because I just don't think they fucking entertain it, to be honest, lads. You'll know fucking as well. Because you get on a few shows. Not many of them watch it, do they?
Nah. It's real, I think... I don't know. It depends on who it is and what the audience is and that. But I do genuinely think just a lot of Scousers don't tend to watch a lot of fan made content or whatever. They'd rather just watch Sky Sports or something and fume at that instead. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? It's one of them. And I don't know. Look. There's so many amazing Liverpool fan outlets like I was with the Anfield Wrap then. I was with the Anfield Wrap today. They're amazing. They're set-up boss.
Great channel, that, lads. I like that channel.
They know what they're doing. It's the same with Redmen TV. Like, they know what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, they've got good content where they get loads of people on, and they all talk. You know, a lot of Scousers as well, and they all talk a lot of sense in that. And even Cop TV with Alex. Like, Alex, obviously, not a Scouser. He's from London, but he gets it. Like, he's good at, and he's very good at what he does. So there's loads of outlets out there. To be honest, I actually don't think Scousers watch enough of it.
There you go. You've heard it from the man who goes on the shows.
I genuinely don't think they do, because you know what, right? If Scousers cared enough about it and actually wanted to get involved with it, there'd be more people queuing outside the park pub to get on camera with Alex and just talk about. And
there'd be some cracking match goers that could get on the fucking fan cam zone.
So
the problem is, I'd be bevied all the time, and that would be a problem for me on YouTube, lads. You know what I mean? This channel would be no longer.
There's some good little clips out of it, though. That's the one.
Certainly on our coach.
Everything that happens on our coach can't be publicised.
No, it's finished, game over. But look, lads, I appreciate you coming on. If you've just joined us, make sure you smash a like, subscribe. Make sure you follow Greg as well. I'm sure you do. Keeps me entertained. I'm sure I keep you entertained arguing with every fucking Arsenal fan in sight. But Reds, keep your heads up. We'll be back soon, and we'll see you very soon. See you tomorrow. Up the Reds.
Take care.